Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. If you're learning Portuguese, I totally get that building up your vocabulary can feel, well, a bit like a steep climb, right? But today, we're going to explore a really simple, elegant grammar hack that can quickly level up your communication and make you sound so much more natural. Let's dive right into it with our first topic, the magic suffix. We are talking about the suffix mente, that's spelled M-E-N-T-E. Honestly, think of this little guy as a linguistic cheat code. You literally just stick it onto an adjective and boom, it instantly transforms into an adverb, helping you describe exactly how an action is performed in a much more precise way. And the coolest part? The Portuguese mente works almost exactly like the English suffix lie. Seriously, when you say happily, clearly, or easily in English, you are using the exact same grammatical tool. You already know how to use this concept in your head. Now we're just going to map it over to Portuguese. Moving on to Rule 1, the feminine form. All right, so to build these words, there are really just two simple paths you need to follow. Step 1, for our first rule, we start with a base adjective that ends in an O or an A. Let's take the word claro, which means clear. Now, step 2. Because it ends in an O, it actually has a masculine and feminine form, and the rule here is absolute. We must use the feminine form as our base. So claro flips to clara. Finally, step 3, we just snap on our suffix mente. Put it all together, and clara plus mente becomes claramente. Clearly, it is totally logical, right? Let's actually reinforce this first rule with a second example just to make sure it really sticks. So, step 1, our base adjective this time is lento, meaning slow. Step 2, we need that feminine form again, so we swap out the O for an A, which gives us lenta. Step 3, we snap on our suffix mente. And there you go, you've got lentamente, slowly. It is just such a wonderfully smooth transformation. Now for Rule 2, the simple addition. Now you might be wondering, what about words that are completely gender neutral? Well, step 1, we take an adjective with no distinct masculine or feminine form. A great example is feliz, meaning happy. Since it ends in a Z, it doesn't gender. So, step 2, we literally skip the gender swap entirely and slap mente straight onto the end. Feliz instantly becomes felizmente, which translates to happily. I mean, zero friction, zero fuss. Let's take a look at a second neutral example. Step 1. Take the base adjective fácil, meaning easy. Because it ends in an L, it's gender neutral. Step 2, we add mente directly to it. And effortlessly, fácil becomes fácilmente. Easily. You literally just bolt it right onto the end of the word. Couldn't be simpler. So, take a look at the 4 word pairs we just built together. We went from claro to claramente, lento to lentamente, feliz to felizmente, and fácil to fácilmente. We just generated these 4 highly descriptive adverbs using nothing more than 2 super basic rules. This right here is exactly how you multiply your vocabulary without having to sit down and memorize entirely new sets of words. Okay, let's see these words in action. All right, let's shift gears and actually put these into some real-world scenarios. Imagine the absolute excitement of someone finally landing their ultimate perfect role after months of searching. You wouldn't just state it as some boring fact. You'd say, felizmente ele conseguiu o emprego de sonhos. Happily, he got his dream job. Notice how placing felizmente right at the very beginning of the sentence completely sets the joyful mood for the whole narrative that follows. Now, consider a classroom setting. You want to describe a truly great educator who breaks down complex topics perfectly. You would say, o professor explicou a lição claramente. The teacher explained the lesson clearly. Using claramente here structures the sentence beautifully. It tells us not just what the teacher did, but the highly effective, precise manner in which they did it. Okay, now picture a super confident student just breezing through a notoriously tough exam. O teste era difícil, mas ele respondeu tudo facilmente. The test was difficult, but he answered everything easily. The suffix here creates this really powerful juxtaposition between how hard the test supposedly was and the student's completely effortless performance. Finally, let's look at a universally shared human frustration: being stuck in terrible traffic. You know the feeling? You're looking out the window, just sighing. O trânsito estava ruim, então o ônibus andava lentamente. The traffic was bad, so the bus was moving slowly. That word lentamente perfectly captures the agonizing, dragging pace of a heavy bus caught in gridlock. It adds so much more flavor than just simply saying the bus was slow. Wrapping things up, let's talk about your next steps. So we've seen the rules, but now you need to actually practice them. The source material poses a really great question for anyone on this language journey. Do you actually want to learn Portuguese with native teachers? Because if you want to stop just memorizing grammar rules and start truly conversing, the source suggests that studying with teachers from Brazil is absolutely the fastest way to cement these concepts. Applying rules like the mente suffix with native speakers makes them stick in your brain forever. But hey, here is the much bigger question I want to leave you with. Now that you hold this linguistic master key, how many standard Portuguese sentences can you go out and completely transform today? Keep practicing, keep looking for those adjectives, and I will see you in the next explainer.